All right, so here's the dilemma I am facing. I got new clamps for my chrome covers. These are just decorative covers that go over the exhaust. So I got these clamps. They're not the same clamps that came with it. The same clamps, the clamps that were used originally were one use type of thing, kind of like these. These are called Oetiker clamps. They're made in Sweden or Switzerland or some European country like that. And they work pretty good, especially for like fuel lines and that kind of stuff. My problem is I don't have enough room to get in there. Once you get these clamped in the right location here, then you just take a pair of pliers, and you pinch this together, and that is enough to shrink it on top of whatever whatever you're trying to clamp it to. My problem is when I go to put this on here, I don't have room to get my tools in there to get that crimped. So what I might do is just get a regular worm gear type of hose clamp, and probably there's 3 of these places where the hose clamps are going to go. I might just put a worm gear clamp on here, tighten it up, then pull the exhaust back off without disturbing it, and then put these clamps on there. The reason I'm so concerned about it is because all these chrome pieces, you see a little bit of a little shoulder. Well, the other piece of chrome fits right over top of this, so I want it to look good, but if I miss this by, a half an inch or something on that pipe, then it's going to look terrible. So I need to get it set just right before I clamp those clamps on there. I'm going to take some figuring out here to figure out how to do that, because I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet. Alright, so after fiddling with this exhaust for a while, I ended up just taking the dang thing back off just to put those clamps on. It's still a nightmare to get those dang things on there, but that's the route I went. I'm just going to take the exhaust off and then just throw it up on the bench up there and attach the chrome on it up there, the chrome sleeves, decorative stuff, and then assemble the exhaust on the bike. Got the first one done. And it was a boring process, so I'm not gonna bother filming it. Maybe next time. Alrighty, this is a 2-piece cover. So we got the one up here, stops right here, and this, like I said, this has got a recess, a little bit of an indentation here, where I was worried about how well these are gonna fit together. So I put this one on first, but I didn't tighten the clamps. And I put this one on, didn't tighten the clamps, and kind of moved them around. They had a little bit of play to them, so I moved them around where they lined up pretty decent, and then I went ahead and cinched the clamps. That's what an Oetiker clamp is right there. I wanted to get them low profile, so as opposed to like a worm gear clamp or something like that. I mean, here's look at this exhaust clamp, how much room that thing takes up. You can see how much I lightened that up too. I cut those out. They were solid, but they still have the structural integrity that I'm looking for by cutting them out and leaving them that way. But between the 4 of them, those clamps, that made a big difference in weight right there. So, and it's still going to be able to clamp just fine. Tomorrow night I'll be able to put this exhaust on and put the mufflers on. Should be able to get all the exhaust done tomorrow, I'm hoping. So it's a little after 9 o'clock, and we're going to call it a night. All right, gonna be a short night tonight. Tonight we are calling for 4 to 6 inches of snow and a low of like 15 to 18 degrees, which is from Iowa, so that's not a big deal. But anyway, it's even though I got some insulation on the ceiling, and I guess that's it. I got insulation on the ceiling. It's hard to keep this warm and comfortable in here without spending a lot of money on heat and power, so I'm not gonna mess with it for a couple of nights out here. So last night I came out here, I brought my GoPro out to film me putting on the exhaust, and that battery was dead, and I'm like, I'm not running back in the house across the wet yard to just go get a different battery. Charged the battery, brought the camera out, so now I can show you. Got the exhaust put on last night, looks good. Clean it up a little bit, so that came out pretty good. I'm happy with how well it went on. I also got the battery in there, Got the battery put in there last night. I got the exhaust and the battery put in last night, so that was a victory for me. I get it, Victory Motorcycle. I did get brake pads in the mail, but no rotors yesterday, so can't put the tires and wheels on. Oh, I'm going to balance them first, but I want to put the brake rotors on, put the belt drive, rear belt pulley on, and then balance it, and then go ahead and put the tires back on. I don't like how this is precariously dangling from the ceiling like that, so can't wait to get the tires back on and get it back on the ground. That's what I did last night. Tonight I'm going to work on getting my license plate light all figured out, getting it straightened out. I adapted, went into the original light, got power coming out of that, so tapped into that. It's a matter of putting the plastic back on here, the bodywork back on here, and then running the wires through the lens that's in the right here. So running the wires through this, the lens here. I'll probably just poke a small hole or something like that. Pop this lens out, poke a small hole in here, and then just run the wires out of this up to the license plate, which is going to be right across here. So that'll be my project for tonight. Get all this bodywork put back on, and these brackets come out pretty good too, so lighten them all up and things like that. Anyway, those come out pretty good. So happy with the way that came out. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work for a few minutes tonight, try to get some lights working back here, get the body put back on. Oh, brake rotors are on the way though. I did get an email that said brake rotors are on the way. So it's probably going to be 2 more days before they get here. I'll keep going.